Hey there, welcome to Coaching with Tally. We are here in a series all about adding more peace into your life. And today we're talking about energy. We're gonna do a mini energy audit today and look at where are the biggest places where energy is being drained out. If you have the emotional experience of having a bucket that is draining more energy than you can fill it with, today is for you. So my name is Tally. I'm a life and personal development coach, and I work with leaders to create lives of overflowing impact in the world that are centered in joy. Really all about getting leaders aligned to who it is they most truly are, get them firing on all cylinders. We look at every important area of life and get you into a place where you are just in overflow because you've created a life that you love living. So we are here again today talking about how to have more peace in your life. We're in the middle of a series right now all about that. And today we're looking at where are those places where you are draining energy regularly and what you can do to plug some of those things up so that you can save that energy for things you care more about. So we're going to look at 3 areas of life today. We're going to look at relationships. We're going to look at the systems that are going on in your life, the things that you do regularly, and we're going to look at schedule. So those are 3 big culprits of energy drain. There are more, but those are the 3 main ones. We're going to talk about that. So when you have a lot of stress in life, when you have a lot of places where you're draining energy, it can lead to things like heart disease, ulcers, high blood pressure. It also lowers your immunity. So that's an interesting, when you have a lot of stress, it lowers your immune system. So we can all use a stronger immune system. So we're going to talk about some things today that you can do, 3 really practical things that you can do today to keep some of that energy for things that you really care more about. Eliminate those big energy drainers. So let's look at reevaluating your relationships. That's the first one we're going to take a look at. When there are consistent issues that come up in relationships regularly, it's often a lot easier to look at that, evaluate what it is that's creating it, and do something about it than to keep replaying the same dynamics over and over again. So this might be just setting a boundary with a person. When you get to a place where you're just like, I am not willing to keep doing this dynamic over and over again, look at what is it that you need to do to put a boundary in place for yourself that doesn't keep you stepping into that same thing over and over again. It might even just be something as simple as like, if you just every single week have a dynamic where you're like trying to get your son to take out the trash and he's resisting it, and it's just this like every single week. Or maybe it is a conversation around schedule that keeps coming up over and over again with somebody in your life. Or maybe it's just a sensitive place for one or both of you around a topic. Sometimes it's easier just to address the thing and just say, hey, this isn't working and we keep doing this thing and I'm not willing to keep doing this thing anymore. Let's be a team on this and figure out what we can do that could make a difference here. So get clear on what those things are that are draining energy in relationships and actually just address the issue, do something about it, and determine what you're willing to do and not willing to do in that anymore, and set boundaries where you need to. Developing new systems. So think through the different systems in your life, especially things that you do on a very regular basis. So if it is, you have a habit that you're doing or you're trying to work in, maybe it is going to the gym or making a smoothie every day or taking your vitamins, and like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, or it's just kind of not real efficient. Look at some of those regular systems that you do and look for how you can make it even more efficient. So maybe it's just setting your stuff out the night before to get yourself to the gym and have it be like a setup for success. Maybe it's you're making smoothies every day, but you have stuff in all these different places. And maybe if you just created like a basket or a tote or a tray or something like that, and it's all in one place, it's super efficient. So that's one of the things I finally did. I was like, I'm always gathering the protein powder from here and this from over here and chia seeds. And like, I finally just put it all in one little tote and I just pull that out, and that's our smoothie tote. And it's really easy. We can have like all the different kinds of options there and all the toppings for smoothie bowls. Everything's in one place. So it's just simple. I just get the one thing out when we make smoothies. So that was like one little tweak that was super helpful. I'm getting ready this week to do the same thing with omelets. So I make omelets a lot in the mornings for the kids. And I like have all these different drawers that I pull stuff from inside of the refrigerator. And I'm like, I'm just gonna put this all in one little thing that I keep in the refrigerator with the eggs on top. It's like a long thin, and then that way I can pull that out. We have all the veggies there that I want to be able to use, cut up onions, all that kind of stuff, and it's ready to go. So it's just more efficient. It's something that I'm doing on a regular basis. And even though it's probably only saving me 2 or 3 minutes a day, that's 2 or 3 minutes a day, and that adds up. And there's just something too about having it feel really efficient that feels really good. So what are the systems that you're doing regularly that you could make even more efficient for yourself? So just looking at systems. So maybe it's even things like the way that you do laundry, or I know one of the things for me when I had this revelation of like, what are the energy drains? I'm like, I'm really tired of tripping over my suitcase for like an entire week and a half or 2 after I get back from a trip. And it's like mostly put away, but there's still a couple things in it, and I just like move it back and forth out of my way. That's just inefficient. So getting in the habit of, you know, just like clearing out, putting things away, and then getting that back in the storage unit, things like that. So what are the systems that you can do that'll make life more efficient and just have those energy drains that you feel like when you hear yourself say like, oh, I need over and over and over again, it's often just much easier to just give yourself the 10 minutes or whatever it is and handle the issues so you don't keep tripping over the same energy drain over and over again. So that is systems. Think about systems in your life, your spaces, things that you regularly do, and getting those dialed in a little bit more, looking at the biggest energy drain in that area and doing something about it. And then time. So schedule is another one. So do the most important things first. That's one of the things we hear over and over and over again. Do the most important things first. And often we will be kind of having this psychological procrastination around something. I find myself doing this. I can watch myself going, okay, you are like cleaning everything and finding all these other things you need to do because you're avoiding doing the thing you need to do. And so putting that actually on the schedule could be really, really helpful for you. So do the most important things first. Set a limit on the things that you see draining energy or time a lot. So whether it's checking social media, responding to notifications that pop up on your phone, getting really clear about how much time you want to give to specific things will be really supportive for you, and limiting those. So that's one of the things that can be a real energy drain. And if you didn't get to see yesterday, I totally encourage you to go back and look at it. It's around this one. There's a lot more detail around multitasking. I think that is a chronic issue that we have in our culture, trying to do so many things, and it ends up being so inefficient for us. So looking at these places in your schedule where you are regularly draining energy, and so go back and watch that. There's just a lot on it, but one of the things is looking at how much time it takes to switch back and forth between tasks and how much energy is drained as we do that. So that's yesterday's coaching with Tally. So I encourage you to look at that. One of the things that I do with my clients, my private clients, is, I don't know if I introduced myself. I don't think I did. My name is Tally, by the way. I'm a life and personal development coach, and I work with leaders to create lives of overflowing impact that are centered in joy. I might have done that, I don't remember, but that's who I am, that's what I do. But when I work with my private clients, one of the things I'll do with them regularly is, early on when I first start working with them, and we're trying to dial this in, getting systems that really work for them, looking at what works and what doesn't work. And often there are a lot of things that aren't working, but it's hard to identify what they are. And so I will often say, let's do a time audit this week. And it takes a little bit of extra time, but it will save so much time in the long run. So I have them actually track their time, all of their time for an entire week in 15-minute increments. Like, what is it that you're giving your time and focus and attention to? And then looking at, it's always amazing. At the end of the week, they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I gave this much of my time to this. And it's not for you to adjust or like try and make it what you want. And just track what you do, what you just normally do, what you want to do, what you naturally steer into, and then we'll look at it. We'll look at the patterns at the end of the week. There's no like right or wrong. It's not me judging anything. It's them looking at what they give their time to, and does it align with what they really want to be giving their time to. And then we can really look at creating systems that make a huge difference. And this is an activity that we are going to be doing, an energy audit on a retreat that we have coming up. And there are still some spots for it. So if you want to get away with a small group of other people to a beautiful cabin in Hocking Hills, Ohio, We're going to be doing a lot outside. It's going to be a beautiful experience. And we're going to look at where are these places. We're going to do an energy audit. Where are these places that we're giving our time, our focus, our energy to that really are not the most efficient, or they're just flat out not working. They're energy drains. And what are some things that you can do to dial that in and get systems that are working for you in your relationships, in your environment and day-to-day systems, and in your schedule. So if you want to come, it's going to be August 14th through the 16th, and we can post something. We'll post something around here that has a link to that retreat. So if you want to come and check it out, let us know, and we can get you some information on that. So your exercise for today, if you want to do that time audit, it's a fabulous exercise, but it takes some time and some real intentionality to do. If you want to just do something right now that moves you toward this, but you're not ready for the entire week-long tracking system, I want you to go through these 3 areas and think of the top energy drainer in your relationships. Something that just either drains a lot of your energy because it's just super taxing, or it happens repeatedly and it's just kind of irritating, but it's over and over and over again, daily or weekly, that you want to look at. So top energy drainer relationally, look at that. Think about your systems and your environment and what is the top energy drainer in that. And it might be kind of subtle, it might not be super irritating, but you're just kind of this is really inefficient. I do this daily, or I do this very regularly, and it's not set up in a way that works well for me. Here's an example. I had a trash can that was really, I liked it a lot, but it didn't hold that much. And I had my recycling in another, it wasn't a very efficient system. And so I upgraded the trash can to bigger, and the recycling is with it. And now instead of having to take it out 3 times a week, I only have to take it out 1 time a week. It's just far more efficient. And even though it was only, an extra 12 minutes to go take the trash out, whatever, that's an extra 12 minutes twice a week. That's almost 25 minutes a week that I just got back to go and give to something else that I care more about. So that's beautiful. So little things, even though they're small, incremental over time, really adds up. So looking for systems that are more efficient for you. Maybe it's just irritating to get into your closet because it's so full. And maybe it would make a big difference to get some of the big winter things out of there in the summer and just have it so you can get in and move around easier, and then get some of the summer things out of there in the winter. Maybe it's just as simple as that. Little things that you can do that might not take that much time, but make a huge difference in just how you overall feel in your systems. And then looking at your schedule. What's the biggest energy drain that you have in your schedule? Is it the shifting back and forth between answering notifications every time they come up? Is it checking your email too many times a day? Maybe you can make it so you don't check your email that many times a day. Maybe you batch it and just do it 2 or 3 times a day rather than 7 or 8 times a day, and notice how much more efficient you are, how much energy you save, not switching back and forth, back and forth. And if you want more on that, go to yesterday's multitasking one, really, really good on more of that. So looking at relationships, looking at your environment and systems, and then looking at your schedule. What are what's the one energy drain in each one of those, and what's one thing you can do about it to dial that in and make it less energy draining for you. So we will be back again tomorrow on more tips to get you into more peace. But hopefully this was super helpful for you today, all around an energy audit. And if you want to come to the retreat and really do that more full on, we'd love to have you there. Check it out. It's going to be August 14th through the 16th. It's called the Vision Momentum Retreat, and it'll be in Hocking Hills, Ohio. We'd love to have you. Reach out and let me know if you want to get an application in for that. All right, blessings, everybody. Have a beautiful day. And if you haven't heard it yet today, you are loved.